to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta Madhya Lila, Chapter 19, Text 168. Anya Vancha Anya Puja Chadi Jnana Karma Anukulye Sarvandriye Krishna Nushilana. A pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He should not offer worship to the demigods or to mundane personalities. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge, which is devoid of Krishna consciousness, and he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna-conscious activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable execution of Krishna-conscious activities. 169. Ei sudha bhakti iha haite premahaya pancharatre bhagavate ei lakshakaya. These activities are called Sudha Bhakti, pure devotional service. If one renders such pure devotional service, he develops his original love for God, love for Krishna, in due course of time. In Vedic literatures like the Pancharatras and Srimad Bhagavatam, these symptoms are described. Purport: one has to develop his devotional service under the direction of a pure devotee, the spiritual master, and in accordance with the Vedic directions given by the Pancharatra and Bhagavata systems. The Pancharatra system includes methods of temple worship, and the Bhagavata system includes the spreading of Krishna-conscious philosophy through the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam and the discussion of philosophy with people who are interested. Through discussion, one can create an interest and understanding of the Pancharatra and Bhagavata systems. 170. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparak tatpena nirmalam hrishkena hrishkesha sevanam bhaktir uchayate. Bhakti, or devotional service, means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. Purport: this verse, quoted from the Narada Pancharatra, is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.12. 171. Matguna shruti matrena mai sarva guhasaye manogatir avichina yatha ganga baso mumbudao. Just as the celestial waters of the Ganges flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me. I reside in the hearts of all. Purport: this verse and the following three verses are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.11 through 14. They were spoken by Lord Krishna in the form of Kapila Dev. 172. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya hi udharatam ahaituki abhyad bhaiti ya bhakti purushatame. These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way. 173. Shalokya Shashtuti Sampya Sarupyaitatvam Apiyuta Diyamanam Nagrananti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. My devotees do not accept Shalokya, Sarshti, Sarupya, Samipya, or oneness with me. Even I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. Even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. 174. Saeva bhakti yogakya ajantika udharata yunati vraja trigunam madhava yo padayate. Bhakti yoga, as described above, is the ultimate goal of life. By rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one transcends the modes of material nature and attains the spiritual position on the platform of direct devotional service. 175. Bhukti mukti arivancha yadi manehaya sadhana karile prema upananahaya. If one is infected with the desire for material enjoyment or material liberation, he cannot rise to the platform of pure loving service unto the Lord, even though he may superficially render devotional service according to the routine, regulative principles. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions that if one maintains within his heart the desire to enjoy the result of good work, or being embarrassed by the material world, the desire to get out of material entanglement, one will never be able to attain the transcendental mellows of devotional service. In other words, one must not desire material profit when rendering devotional service. Even if one follows all the 64 regulative principles, he cannot attain pure devotional service with a contaminated heart. 176. Mukti mukti svrahaya bhat Pischayasi hridi vartate Tabad bhakti sukhasyatra katham abhyudayo bhavat. The material desire to enjoy the material world and the desire to become liberated from material bondage are considered to be two witches, and they haunt one like ghosts. As long as these witches remain within the heart, how can one feel transcendental bliss? As long as these two witches remain in the heart, there is no possibility of enjoying the transcendental bliss of devotional service. Purport. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.22. 177. Sadhana bhakti hoite haya ratri udaya rati gadha hoile tara premanamakaya. By regularly rendering devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When that attachment is intensified, it becomes love of God. Purport. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.2 gives the following information about sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhya bhavit sadhya bhavasa sadhana bidha nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. The process of devotional service, beginning with chanting and hearing, is called sadhana bhakti. This includes the regulative principles that are intended to awaken one to devotional service. Devotional service is always dormant in everyone's heart, and by the offenseless chanting of the holy names of the Lord, one's original dormant Krishna consciousness is awakened. This awakening to Krishna consciousness is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. This can be divided into many different parts, including faith, association with devotees, initiation by the spiritual master, engagement in devotional service under the instructions of a spiritual master, steadiness in devotional service, and the awakening of the taste for devotional service. In this way, one can become attached to Krishna and his service, and when this attachment is intensified, it results in ecstatic love for Krishna. The word rati is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.3.41 as follows. Yaktam marsra nate bantar lakshayate rati lakshanam umukshu prabrutinam ched bhavedesa ratir nahi. When a tenderness of heart is manifested, there is rati, or attachment. But those who are interested in becoming liberated from material bondage will not manifest this tenderness. This attachment is not like material attachment. When one is free of material contamination, attachment for Krishna's service awakens and is called rati. In the material world, there is attachment for material enjoyment, but this is not rati. Transcendental rati can be awakened only on the spiritual platform. Ecstatic love for Krishna, prem, is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.41 as follows. Samyam Vasrit Gita Spanta Mamatvatis Shayankita Mabhasaeva Sandratma Budhai Prema Nidharyate. When the heart is completely softened and devoid of all material desires, and when one's emotional feelings become very strong, one becomes very much attached to Krishna. Such purified emotion is known as pure love. 178. Prema vridhi krame nema sneha mana pranaya raga anuraga bhava mahabhava haya. The basic aspects of prem, when gradually increasing to different states, are affection, abhorrence, love, attachment, further attachment, ecstasy, and great ecstasy. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.84, sneha, affection, is described as follows. Sandras chita drabam kurvan prema sneha itiryate chanikshasya pinehasya vishleshasya sahishnuta. That aspect of prem in which the melting of the heart for the lover is concentrated is called sneha, or affection. The symptom of such affection is that the lover cannot for a moment remain without the association of the beloved. A description of mana can be found in Madhya Lila, chapter 2, verse 66. Similarly, a description of pranaya is there also. As far as raga is concerned, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.87 says, Sneha sarago yena shat sukham dukham api sutam tatsam bandha lave pyatra viti pranavyayapi. That stage at which affection for the beloved converts unhappiness into happiness is called raga, or attachment. When one has such attachment for Krishna, he can give up his own life to satisfy his beloved Krishna. Anuraga, Bhava, and Mahabhava are described in the 6th chapter of Madhya Lila, verse 13. The purport to that verse explains Adiruddha Mahabhava. 179. Yaiche bija ikshurasa Gura Kanda Sara Sarkara Sita Michari Utama Michari Ara. The gradual development of prem may be compared to different states of sugar. First there is the seed of the sugarcane, then sugarcane, and then the juice extracted from that cane. When this juice is boiled, it forms liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar, candy, rock candy, and finally lozenges. (180) Ehi Saba Krishna Bhakti Rasera Sthai Bhava Sthayi Bhave Mile Yadi Vibhava Anubhava. All these stages combined are called Sthayi Bhava, or continuous love of Godhead, in devotional service. In addition to these stages, there are Vibhava and Anubhava. Purport. Attachment for Krishna never wanes. It increases more and more as one attains different stages. All the stages together are called Sthayi Bhava, or continuous existence of ecstasy. The 9 forms of devotional service are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. When continuous love of Godhead is mixed with the processes of devotional service, it is called Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika, and Vyabhichari. The devotee thus enjoys a variety of transcendental bliss. In his Amrita Prabha Bhasya, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur states that Anubhava can be divided into 13 categories. 1. Dancing, 2. Rolling on the ground, 3. Singing, 4. Yelling, 5. Jumping, 6. Making loud noises, 7. Yawning, 8. Heavy breathing, 9. Not caring for public opinion, 10. Discharging saliva, 11. Roaring laughter, 12. Unsteadiness, and 13. Hiccuping. These are the symptoms of Anubhava. Thus, the transcendental mellows are experienced in different stages. Similarly, there are many other forms of expression that have been analytically studied by the Goswamis. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami gives each and every symptom a particular name. 181. Sattvika Vyabhichari Bhavera Milane Krishna Bhakti Rasahaya Amrita Svadhane. When the higher standard of ecstatic love is mixed with the symptoms of Sattvika and Vyabhichari, the devotee relishes the transcendental bliss of loving Krishna in a variety of nectarian tastes. 182. Yaichedadhi Sitagrita Maricha Karpura Vilane Rasalahaya Amrita Madhura. These tastes are like a combination of yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, black pepper, and camphor, and are as palatable as sweet nectar. 134 through 184. 183 through 184. Bhakta Bedha Rati Bedha Pancha Parakara Santarati Dasyarati Sakyarati Ara Vatsalya Rati Madhura Rati E Pancha Vibeda Rati Beda Krishna Bhakti Rasa Panche Deda. According to the devotee, attachment falls within the 5 categories of Shantarati, Dasyarati, Sakyarati, Vatsalyarati, and Madhurarati. These 5 categories arise from devotees' different attachments to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental mellows derived from devotional service are also 5 varieties. Purport. Shantarati is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.16 through 18 as follows. Manase nirvikalpatvam shama iti avidyate. When one is completely free from all doubts and material attachments, he attains the neutral position called Shanta. Vihaya Vishonmukyam Nijanandas Ditiryata Vihaya Vishayon Mukyam Nijananda Sitiryata Atmana Katyate Sutra Bhava Samma Ityasau Traya Sama Pradhanam Mamatagandha Varjita Paramat Matya Krishne Jata Shanti Ratirmata. The Shantarati realization of Krishna is in the neutral stage between the conception of impersonalism and personalism. This means that one is not very strongly attached to the personal feature of the Lord. An appreciation of the greatness of the Lord is called Shantarati. This is the attachment not for the personal feature, but to the impersonal feature. Generally, one in this stage is attached to the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Isvaraha sarva bhutanam vriddesha rujatistati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra udhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. Bhagavad Gita 18.61. On the strength of this statement from the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that In Shantaras, a devotee sees the Lord's representation everywhere. Dasyarati is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.27. Thus, Swasmad bhavanti ye nunas te nugraya harer mata arhadhyatvat nikatesham rati pratir itirita tatra shakti pradanyatra priti samharini yasau. When the Supreme Lord in his localized aspect is appreciated and a great devotee understands his subordinate position, not only does he surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but due to his subordinate position, he wishes to render some service and thus become favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee in Shantaras is not very much willing to render service to the Lord, but a devotee in Dasyarati, voluntarily wants to render service. Due to this attitude, the devotee in Dasyarati realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead more fully than a devotee in Shantarati. He considers the Lord to be a worshipable object, and this means that his attachment for the Lord increases. Thus, Dasyarati is characterized as Bhakti Parismu Bhava Viraktir Anyatracha. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 11.2.42. In other words, on the Dasyarati platform, a devotee is attached to rendering service to the Lord, and he is detached from material activities. Shantarati is neither material nor spiritual, but Dasyarati is actually on the spiritual platform. There is no attachment for material things on the spiritual platform. Viraktir Anyatracha. A devotee in Dasyarati has no attachment for anything but Krishna's service. Sakyarati is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.30 as follows. Yeshus tulya mukundasya nisakya satamata samyad vishram varupayasham rati sakyam yuhochayate. According to the opinion of advanced devotees and learned scholars, a devotee in Sakyarati feels equal to the Supreme Personality of God. In this relationship and friendship, due to having a friendly relationship with the Lord, not only is one freed from material attachment, but one believes in equal dealings with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is called Sakyarati. The Sakyarati devotee is so advanced that he treats the Lord on an equal level and even exchanges joking words with him. Although one is never equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Sakyarati devotee feels equal to the Lord, and he does not feel guilty because of this. Usually it is offensive to consider oneself equal to the Lord. The Mayavadis, for example, consider themselves equal to the Lord, but such feelings entail bereavement because they are material. Sakyarati, however, is a feeling experienced in the mind by a pure devotee, and he is eternally related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that feeling. Vatsalyarati is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.33. Guravo ye harer asya te puja iti vishrutaha anugraha mai tesham ratir vatsalyam uchayate uchate idham halana bhavasis chibukha sparshanhadikrit. When a living entity is situated on the platform of Vatsalyarati, he thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his childhood feature. In this feature, the Lord has to be protected by the devotee, and at this time the devotee takes the position of being worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These feelings of paternal love are called Vatsalyarati when the devotee is situated on this platform. He wants to maintain the Lord like a son, and he desires all good fortune for the Lord. He offers blessings to the Lord by touching his feet and head. Madhurarati, or attachment in conjugal love, is described as follows. Ito harer mudakshascha sambhogasyadi karanam Madhura pada paryaya priyata kyoditarati asyam kataksha bhuru kshepa priyavani smitadaya. Madhura Rati, the conjugal relationship experienced between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the young damsels of Rajabhumi, continuously exists in 8 kinds of remembrances. This intimate relationship brought about by the conjugal love produces movements of the eyebrows, glancing, sweet words, and exchanges of joking words. 185. Shantadasya Shakya Vatsaya Madhura Rasa Nama Krishna Bhakti Rasa Madhya Te Pancha Pradhana. The chief transcendental mellows experienced with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are 5. Shanta, Dasya, Shakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. Purport. Shanta Bhakti Rasa is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.1.4-6 as follows. Vaksha Manar Vibhavadhyai Saminam Shvad Yatam Gatha Stayi Shanti Ratir Dhirai Shanta Bhakti Rasa Smrta Prayasva Sukha Jatiyam Sukham Shad Atra Yoginam Kintvatmasokyam Aghanam Ganam Tvisha Mayam Sukham Tatra Pisha Sarupanu Vavasya Bhora Hetuta Dashadivan Mano Gyatva Viladirna Tata Mata. When Shantarati, neutral attraction, exists continuously and is mixed with ecstatic emotion, and when the devotee relishes that neutral position, it is called Shanta Bhakti Ras. Shanta Bhakti Ras devotees generally relish the impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since their taste of transcendental bliss is incomplete, it is called aghana, or not concentrated. A comparison is made between ordinary milk and concentrated milk. When the same devotee goes beyond the impersonal and tastes the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his original form as Satchidananda Vigraha, his transcendental blissful body, complete in knowledge and eternity, and the taste is called concentrated Ghana, transcendental bliss. Sometimes the devotees in Shantaras relish transcendental bliss after meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this is not comparable to the transcendental bliss relished by the devotees situated in Dasyaras, the transcendental mellow in which one renders service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dasya Ras or Dasya Bhakti Ras is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.3-4 as follows. Atmo Chitar Vibhabhadai Yutir Asvadhani Yatam Nichatasi Bhaktanam Triti Bhakti Raso Mataha Anugrahya Dasatval Valyat Yadvarapiyayam Vida Vidyayate Sambrahma Prit Gurava Prita Ichapi. When, according to his desires, the living entity develops love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this beginning stage of love is called Dasya Bhakti Ras. Dasya Bhakti Ras is divided into 2 categories called Sambrahma Dasya and Gaurava Dasya. In Sambrahma Dasya, the devotee renders respectful service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in the more advanced Gaurava Dasya, the devotee feels he is receiving protection from the Lord. Sakya Bhakti Ras is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.3-1. 3.3.1. Stayi Bhavo Vibhavadhyai Saksham Atmo Chitariha Itas Chite Satam Pushtim Rasa Prayan Udiryate. According to one's original consciousness, Ecstatic emotions may be exhibited as continuously existing in fraternity. When this stage of Krishna consciousness is mature, it is called Prayo Rasa or Sakya Bhakti Ras. Vatsalya Bhakti Ras is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.4.1 as follows. Vibhavajais tu vatsalyam stayi pushtim upagata Visa vatsala namatra trota bhakti raso buddhai. When eternally existing, love of Godhead transforms into parental love and is mixed with corresponding emotions, that stage of spiritual existence is described by learned devotees as Vatsalya Bhakti Ras. Madhura Bhakti Ras is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.5.1 as follows. Atmo chitar vibhavadhyai pushtim nita satam pradi madhurakyo maved bhakti raso sao madhura rati. If, in accordance with one's own natural development in Krishna consciousness, one's attraction leans towards conjugal love within the heart, that is called attachment in conjugal love, or Madhura Ras. (186) Hasyod bhutas tata vira karunaradra ityapi vayannaka sabhibhatsa iti gunas chasaptadha. Besides the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows, known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. Purport. This verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.116. Thus ends our reading for today. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Maharaja ki jai. All glories to Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.